How's up, y'all? I was cracking this deep. About to react to this video. This is about soft white underbelly. This is them interviewing a pimp named Slickback. No, it's not his name. It says Late the Great. Pimps are trifling. They are so trifling. They take advantage of these girls out here who are lost and confused and they ain't got nowhere to live, and they put them on the streets selling ass. Like, that ain't cool. I don't fuck with pimps, but sure. Let's see him being interviewed. Let's watch. Boy, you ain't making no money, clearly. This is...
All right. Late the Great. Late the Great. Where'd you grow up? Where you from?
I grew up in Los Angeles.
Where?
South Central?
No, various parts. The Westlake District, a little bit of downtown during my childhood. On the east side of South Central, just a little bit. I bounced around a lot.
Okay. And how was your childhood? You had both parents?
No.
Had both my parents until my father went to prison when I was age 10 years old.
That makes sense.
So how was your childhood after that?
Me and my mother ended up on Skid Row in Los Angeles, and I started going in and out of juvenile hall, and eventually the California Youth Authority for a robbery. Did 5 years and got out when I was just about 20 years old.
He lost too. I mean, most pimps are.
Where'd you go from there?
Got out, went in as a boy, came out as a man.
Boy.
And, the world was new to me. I grew up, irregularly because of the YA stretch. And I ended up going to New York to see a different world, try something different.
What'd you see in New York?
It was really fast. It was foreign to me. It was downtown Los Angeles times 5. I didn't have no source of income. I wasn't technically a runaway because I was ready to deal, but I was equivalent to a runaway because I had an adolescent frame of mind, and I was trying to find my way. And I ended up familiarizing myself with the pimping culture.
So you had somebody that kind of took you under their wing and showed you the way?
Well, not really. I was in the Hunts Point area of South Bronx, and I started hanging out with pimps and stuff, and they was encouraging me to bring a girl out there. They liked my swag. They liked my West Coast swag. And I had a girl choose me out of nowhere as far as she wanted a boyfriend figure. She's had pimps before, but she knew I was vulnerable and green to the game, so she wanted a boyfriend figure, and told me if I allowed her to be with me, under the circumstances of her being a prostitute, that the money would be for the both of us. And I took her up on the offer because I needed the money without intending on pursuing a career as a pimp, and it kind of started from there.
So you started out with, tell me about the first girl that you
Why do hoes need pimps?
That was the one right there.
I would hold myself.
She was a black girl. She was a tad bit younger than me, and it didn't last too long because what she was really wanting was trying to see the factors that she wished she had seen in seasoned pimps, and kind of manipulated me into giving her the boyfriend attention that she would have got from them guys. But she wasn't being spoiled with that from seasoned pimps, so she called somebody green, vulnerable, and got what she wanted out of me, and that was about it. But I stepped my foot in the water. I got a taste of it. I like that fast, easy money.
So where'd you go from there?
I went on ahead and tried to keep going with getting as many girls as I could under the circumstances of working under my employ, and but my career didn't go full-fledged then. This was 1999. My career didn't go full-fledged then.
Your career.
I came back to Los Angeles and was selling drugs and stuff like that. But I was an acceptance of having a prostitute working for me when the opportunity presented itself, but it wasn't a priority to get one.
And then you got more into the game at what point?
I would say 2002 in Hollywood on Sunset. I saw guys my age and my age bracket, a couple years younger even, driving nice cars, having things, having 3 or 4 girls at the least. And I'm like, wow, it made me, it motivated me. It's saying, wow, these guys can do it. I want in. I was playing with the game. I wanted in.
Have you done prison time for this?
Yes, I have, on 2 different occasions.
And the penalties are much harsher now than they used to be, right?
The penalties, if the human trafficking enhancement is involved here in California, it's more harsh. But, that's if the girl says she worked for a pimp under fear, force, threat, duress, intimidation, coercing.
Which they all do.
Then it's
the fuck?
it's that aggravates all the charges. If it happens to be a minor, under the human trafficking statute, with the factors I just mentioned, the aggravating factors, it carries 15 years of life. But just a regular pimping charge here in California carries 6 years max. That's just for being convicted of living off the earnings and proceeds of a prostitute.
60.
No, 6 years.
Oh, 6 years.
It's 3 years is the low term, 4 years is midterm, and 6 years is the high term.
You know.
So how many girls do you have now?
Well,
You snitching
based
on
on this is a public interview,
Yes.
I would rather not.
Yeah, I understood.
I would rather not.
Let's don't even answer that.
So you got some. You just told yourself.
If you had girls, what sexes would they? I mean, what races would they be?
I prefer Hispanic and white women over black women. Sometimes I accept a black woman, but her mental capacity and her beauty factors have to be equivalent to that of a Latino or a white woman.
What?
What kind of money do they bring in?
What does that even mean?
It depends on where they're working, what method they're using to catch their dates. You know, it depends on what kind of woman it is, what caliber of a woman it is.
Yeah.
You know,
That is so stupid. So all white women and all Mexican women have the same mental capacity.
The clients are going to be offering less money, and it's going to be insulting to her and I both. But and I can't take a girl that's strung out on drugs and try to put her out there with the girls that ain't on drugs that's getting approximately $80 to $120 a day and expect her to keep up with that because
$80 a day
is their primary.
Nigga, you was a broke parent. I don't hear that you got
what they're doing is their secondary. So if a girl that's on hardcore controlled substance goes out there and makes $120 in one date, she's gonna get lazy and want to come home and elaborate on how she made that much in one whop and think it's really something to her as a drug addict and want to get high and waste time, to whereas to me it's nothing. So
who would think that's a lot of money?
As I said, depends on where they work at, what their personal factors are as far as drug usage or not, and what method is being used for them to get their dates.
And they give you 100% of their money?
If they live with me, they put 100% in my hand to manage, but it's not giving it to me as though it's a donation if they're not living off it. I'm more like an accounting for them.
Boy, you still ain't money. Shut your ass up.
And they get protection from you or something?
They get protection, they get inspiration and motivation, they get guidance. You know, the security factors, for the most part, come in play through the instructions that I give them to not get themselves into certain situations. You know, if
like be with niggas
has
like
more than
you.
one girl, you know, he can't split himself in fractions and be there physically to protect each one. But if she takes heed to what a pimp tells her to do, then she's not going to find herself oftentimes in situations where she's going to be in the face of danger. So that's where the protection comes in right there. However, you know, tricks and clients are still unpredictable. It could be the coolest guy that she screens out, and he'll still, out of nowhere, unexpectedly do some weirdo stuff once they're out in traffic. It happens. That's inevitable.
And your style, I mean, I've learned that there are many different types of pimps. Some are ladies' men, and some are using intimidation or force, and there's so many different styles. What would you say your style is?
I would say my style has a lot of diversity to it, and I say that because
He is so
I apply whichever variation of styles I may have, depending on what kind of woman it is. You know, if she's a knucklehead who's not going to respect a pimp or respect any man figure in any type of partnership or relationship she's in, she's a knucklehead, then there's going to be a lot of hostility during our partnership, and you know, it might lead to things that hostility inevitably induces. However, if she's a smooth chick, then all the gentlemen will come out of me. So I apply the factors of my characteristics toward the woman according to her behavior.
Shut up! You're trying to use words that don't even.
Taking advantage of
I apply the factors of my characteristics.
Getting their wallets, getting their phones, getting their jewelry, whatever.
Most definitely, because a lot of the women, if you know, they settle for that line of business, that trade.
I don't want to see his whole outfit because I'm not
sometimes in the back
impressed.
of their mind, or on the forefront, they'll express that they don't enjoy what they're doing. So it's like a
I'm
comment.
done with him. He looked like he came out in 1992, and I'm done, with his little pimp stories and trying to make it seem like he read some books when he was in jail. Fuck out of here. I don't like pimps, like I said. But he's misguided his goddamn self. Look at how he said he grew up. His daddy went to jail when he was young. He was a scarecrow. He was homeless. Who knows what happened to him, So I'm sure he's a victim himself, but that doesn't make it right to, fucking take advantage of other victims and, profit off of them. Like, it's just trifling. He's trifling. He's crusty too, so I don't know what type of money he's making, because it doesn't seem like he's a very successful pimp, but, sure, I guess. But yeah, what I never understood is why, these hoes out here, or young ladies hoeing themselves, why they don't hold themselves out. Like, why do you need a pimp? I don't understand that. I'm not familiar with the pimping lifestyle at all. But, it just makes sense to me to just go in the corner without a pimp and then keep all the money for yourself. Or maybe they feel like they want that protection, like he stated. Or maybe, other people will try to press them and be like, who your pimp? I don't know how this works. I don't know if it's like a fucking gang, like, what pimp you repping. Like, I don't know how this shit works, so I can't say for sure. But, it just seems off to give your money to a pimp. But it's interesting he said that, when he came back out here in LA, he went to Hollywood, where all the hoes and pimps and shit is at. And I've said this before on so many other videos about how, growing up in LA, I never went to Hollywood. Hollywood wasn't a thing. So it's so funny how when people move to LA, these fucking YouTubers and Instagram people, they're just like, ooh, Hollywood is so exciting. Like, they think glitz and glams. It's like, nigga, nobody was in Hollywood. Like, that's where the pimps and the hoes are, the fucking crackheads, the weird people. Like, so, I only started going to Hollywood as an adult with my transplant friends, because, they come from other states and shit, and they're so fascinated by it for whatever reason. I'm watching too much goddamn TV, I guess. But, but it's funny because when people actually get here and, they are in Hollywood, they just like, oh my God, it's dirty. It smells like pee. Look at these bums. Like, nigga, what you thought? Like, this is not, what you saw on TV, on a fucking movie. But anyway, he had trifling ass pimp, sure, not surprised. Y'all let me know what y'all thought, though. Let me know what other videos you want me to react to, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye!